Alrighty, we are at the unit. It's been a while since I've been up here. We're putting the Cutlass away for the year. There's the Vista, still tucked away when we put it away in September or August, I should say, late August. We get the Benz out. Came by, Benz fired right up. So, I mean, what else do you expect? And just another run over of the collection. It's been a while. It's my friend's 71 Cutlass S. Same motor as in the Supreme 352 barrel, but plenty of torque. This is an AC car, which is really nice. It was from Kentucky originally. He has the Poverty hubcaps on it. It came with a set of special wheels of the SS2s, or the SS1s, the non-color matched ones. And then the non-color matched Super Sport rims, I have those if I want to put them on the Vista or on this. Or I am slated, my friend he's an older gentleman. He's not even he's not retired. He's not close to passing away yet, I hope. And, but he is, I am set to inherit this car from him, which is pretty fantastic. It's pretty clean. The quarters are a little weird on it, but I've done quarters before. I just finished up 1970 SS Chevelle at work. Got hit in the back, and then it spun around and got hit in the front, all down the passenger side. That's done. Yeah, this is a real nice holiday coupe, fastback. It's got the 71 rear end on it, which is the two taillights like that, whereas the 1970 is the two taillights like that. And then in 72 you get the 2x3 6 light grille. But yeah, so the quarters are a little funky. Up in here you can see the light. They're a little starting to rust down here, and towards the back they get a little weird. Might be hard for you to see it. But it's a nice car. And also, I forgot, the door and the fender hit because nobody fits their panels correctly. So I gotta fix that at some point for him. But yeah, so these quarters have definitely been done. You can just tell by looking at them. Not just the light, but also the texture in the paint. It's not original paint car. But unfortunately, yep, they bind like that. But it's got bench seat in the front, split bench, not the sport bench with the armrest. AC, which I believe came standard in 71. I talked to a guy who had a 71 Vista Cruiser at a car show, and he said it was the base car you could get. It was a 350 2-barrel 71, but it had 71, so it had no handle. But on the Vista Cruisers, the dual action tailgate I think went standard in 71, and AC became standard in 71 for Oldsmobile. 71 air conditioning standard. That's pretty luxurious, honestly. The price went up on the car a little bit, but the fact that they were making all the cars AC that year, I believe, unless you ordered it without it, I think naturally I would think that would drop the price because they don't have to worry about, all these extra parts, extra assembly lines, all that stuff, whether it's dealer installed or factory installed air conditioning, all that stuff. So yeah, so there's this nice 71. Some cracks in the wheel, but it's not bad. It's pretty much on par, I believe, with the one in the Supreme. Hold on, let's turn on the light here for you guys. Not available in ultra wide lens. Okay, turn on the light. Okay, there you go. So it's pretty much like my 71 as far as options, except it's got air conditioning, which is real nice. Does not have the lighting package. You can see there's no switch. There's a delete plate here. You get a light over your AC controls, and then there's a delete plate up here. So this would be a good car in my mind to make a muscle car because it's very base. You can pull the AC off and set it aside. Leave the vents in if you want, but and leave that on. It's not going to shed you too much weight, but just take off the compressor and all that. Or you make enough power, you can just leave the AC on, have a nice, comfortable, not as fast muscle car. 71, they also switch the sun visors. I don't know if it's the difference between the Supreme and the S, or the difference between 70 and 71. I think it's a Supreme and S difference, but you just get these sort of base sun visors. They don't clip in over here or anything. You don't get a mirror because you don't have the interior lighting package, which the mirror is a part of. So yeah, no light in there. No glove box light. That's also different for 71. They put your tire pressures and vehicle safety maintenance schedule right there, which is, but you can see no glove box light in 71 was standard. Come on. And this car is not perfect. It definitely needs some work. What's a good car? There's one crack right there I missed. But other than that, it's not too shabby. Nice orange interior. Package tray is faded. Seats are not really ripped up too bad. I mean, you can feel the vinyl is old. You can see the way it creases like that. It's definitely getting old. But yeah. So, split bench, which was standard in the S. So you can get in the back. This car actually drives pretty nice. I have driven it, and here's another. You can see a crimple right there. It's just weirdness in the quarters. If this was, I'll end up doing the work on this car eventually on my own, and we will be going through. I will recommend to the owner we put new quarters on, and then I will also recommend I redo the whole car, which will take a little more time, but it'll all be worth it. Where is the hood release? Come on, I'm gonna set you guys down for a second. Come on. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. There you are. Come on. There we go. Got it. So yeah, 350, 2-barrel. Not a bad little engine by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know what the 70 rating is, but I don't know what the 71 rating is off the top of my head, but 1970 is 355 foot-pounds torque, 250 horse. I believe it was still 250 horse, but I don't know if the torque changed. And you get a clutch fan standard in 71. 1970 was last year for the fixed fan, I think, at all. This does have an HEI in the back out of an 80s car. I would want to go back to points because it just makes sense. You don't have as nice, as special of alternator bracketing in this car. You can see the ground. That is not factory ground location. Factory ground location should be behind the block. Oh, you see a little drip right there. Not as nice of a master cylinder on this car. Do not believe that is original. I know in a lot of the Oldsmobile cars originally you had the bleeder screws here and here, so you could on vehicle easily bleed the master. By one person, you would have to bench bleed it and install it. What else? Yeah, the bracket, the location on my Supreme. The alternator is not here. It's set over there. And you notice how I did say this is a factory AC car. Well, he has the vents in the car. But now that I look at it, where is the... I mean, I know all the AC stuff has been removed on this car. I know it's in a box. But I mean, there's the AC fuel pump with the block off for the return line for the fuel. So that's weird. If there was a fuel line, I wonder, why not just hook it up unless it rusted out, but obviously it didn't. So maybe this is not a factory AC car. Maybe they threw an AC dash in it. They were in the process of making an AC car. Because I know he's got the AC parts for it. There's the stud for the AC bracket that would be on the car. And because most people, when they just pull the AC, they just pull the compressor and call it good. I mean, all the belts are there. They look fairly original. So but there should be a big condenser here and a expansion valve and all that stuff. And there's the water valve right there for turning the heat on and off. And that looks like it's been there a while. So I'm gonna go and say this is still an original AC car. They put a new radiator in it, as you can see. Is there a condenser up there at all? That we can see through the grill? Nope, no condenser, so they pulled that out too. But there's the sight hole too. I don't know if that's on non-AC cars, but that's the sight hole where you would look at your receiver dryer. There's a little sight glass they put on them. They don't really do it on new cars anymore, but here we can show you guys what an AC car looks like. Granted, in a big block, but all that should be there. And there's your sight hole for your receiver dryer right there. See? And there's your sight glass. Now this is non-functioning AC. It's a new compressor pump. So it does spin. But all the lines are loose. I gotta tighten them up. These are the lines I made. And then on a non-AC car, on a 70, I don't know if that sight hole is there or not. Oh, the hood's locked. Nothing. The two options my Supreme has over that car is the night watch and the hood lock. And also, since that's an AC car with no AC in it, this car will actually be much cooler because of the pull vents up on the dash. So yep, so there's a hole there. They just mass produced that, so your receiver dryer would be down that hole. But yeah, see, same setup, but no water valve right there, no long stud, and the pulleys. So I'm gonna put my money down that was an AC car. I do have the factory air cleaner lid for this car too. It just sounds a lot better as a 2-barrel with the smaller lid. Much better than a flip lid. But yeah, and you also saw under that hood that the alternator was on that side. And usually when they put the alternator on that side, they run the harness along the firewall and run it up the block to the alternator. But on the Supreme, the alternator's right there. I think because so many of the Supremes had air conditioning, because they were the Supreme, they ran the harness up here for the alternator that would usually be here, but they just extend the harness across the engine bay to the alternator there, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why they would do that. I still haven't gotten an answer. All the Oldsmobile people I've talked to, I have no answer as to what's up with that. Why would Oldsmobile do that? But I do have the assembly manual that I haven't read through. I could go through and read it. Maybe that would tell me, but I doubt it. But yeah, so that's the three Oldsmobiles, the three Oldsmobile A-bodies. Then we have this, which is my baby. This is 1966 Delta 88 ultra high compression. So 360 horse. You could get the Starfire motor in here, but this one doesn't have it. I'm not complaining. I have a parts car for this with a fairly straight fender. This car doesn't have a clock. The parts car has a clock, and the parts car is factory AC, and it's a dynamic 88, not a Delta. So kind of interesting. I have all the information on this car. The guy traded in a 58 Super 88 black 4-door to buy this car, which he wanted, I'm assuming, no options and a muscle car. But he has a few options on this car. There's power steering, power brakes. He's got aftermarket air conditioning installed on the car, which we'll see if we can't pop the hood. This is a first-year Quadrajet car. No Carter carburetors on this thing, which is nice, because the Quadrajet, even the first-year Quadrajet, I think is outstanding. I don't even remember where the hood pop is on this thing. It's been so long. Oh, is that it? There we go. Oh, set you guys down for 1 second. So there is the Super Rocket 425 ultra high compression. So 10 1/4 to 1, 4-barrel. There's the aftermarket compressor, aftermarket AC lines, aftermarket condenser, right up in there. So he wanted air conditioning. The sticker is on the back too. And it's like a wood grain unit he installed sometime in the 70s, or had installed, I should say. Single circuit brakes, automatic, but it's a switch pitch turbo 400. A little bit of a mouse nest in the hood, but the hood is a good spot for it. So yeah, it's a switch pitch turbo 400 car. And this car has 308 gears in it, which is pretty skimpy. Back in the day, I would like to have seen like a 323, or they had like weird numbers at this point, I think. So you could have gotten like a 334 or something like that. Really odd stuff. But now all the aftermarket gears you get for this rear end, you know, 323s, all that. I can't open it, unfortunately. It's pretty wedged in there. This is a car where the rear of the frame is rusted out, and then I bought a parts car where the front of the frame is rusted out. So we're gonna make one good frame and POR it, epoxy it, whatever. I also have a new front bumper for this car, which I don't remember if I need or not. I thought I did, but looking at this one, it looks pretty solid. But yeah, I need that fender. I have a trim piece that's missing on the back passenger side. I bought this parts car. Guy said he had one. I get there, it's pretty much rotted away to nothing, so I have to make that work until I can get a new one. But other than that, this car, I did drive it with no brakes. It does run and drive. I drove it up under the trailer. Tires hold air. It's got all the hubcaps, all the trim that hasn't rotted away. All the other trim is in immaculate shape. The bottom of the car is pretty rusty, but the rest of it's really solid. The interior is immaculate. There's a small tear in the front of the driver's seat, as you can see right there. But the interior is excellent. No cracks in the dash, a few small cracks in the steering wheel. Headliner is in awesome shape. So for $1,700, I couldn't really pass on it. He was gonna part it out, and it's like, no, you can't part that out. It's got factory chrome door edge guards. So this is really a good candidate for restoration. It is a 4-door, so I mean, you have to like 4 doors to get that. It needs trunk floor, all that stuff. But I can make all that. I'm not too concerned about this car being perfectly original, just looking nice. Excuse me. Woo. Just concerned about this car looking nice. So the nice ocean mist paint, the ocean mist interior, we're gonna keep all that. We're gonna have it look nice and period 60s. Under the hood, it's gonna have points in it, single circuit brakes, all that. There might be some mods to it. We might put fancy things under the hood, but period fancy things. Like you could get Oldsmobile big block aluminum intakes back in the 60s. We might throw one of those on if we can find one. Sort of spice it up a bit. Maybe put a pinstripe following the body line down the car. Just little things, but keep it period, you know? This is another one of my friend's cars. 1974, I think. Mercury Comet, not a GT, it's a 4-door. 250 straight 6 under the hood. This thing is reliable, starts every time. We have it up on blocks. He's got a couple other cars that I'm gotta work on for him. And then this back here is my 67 Mustang, automatic 200 straight 6 car. Nothing to write home about, but I have a 3-speed Hurst dual pattern shifter for it. It needs frame rails, toe boards, torque boxes. It's got a couple dents here and there. And then she's gonna get a repaint. I don't know if we'll keep it beige mist or if we'll go like the Sherwood green, or if we'll do like a state green off of like an Excursion or something. I don't know. We'll figure all that out. But this car we ran and drove for a week. Everything worked on it. It's got a fuel leak. It's got a brake leak, but I drove it around for a week in it. Drove real nice. So the suspension and all that's good. But the plan is make that 6-cylinder fast. We'll start with tri-power, see how I like it. Gets it on the road sooner, and then we'll look at throwing some boost at it. And then we got to go up to an 8-inch or a 9-inch in the back, and then I got to get 5 lug hubs in the back. The plan is I want to make over 200 horse naturally aspirated and keep everything light. So the 7 1/4 rear end, the 4 lug hubs all the way around. keep everything as light as possible and see how fun it is. Because if I can make it fun and keep it light and low horsepower, that should be a really fun car to drive. Fuel efficient, simple, easy to work on, and less things to break, things like that. But I have a friend with turbocharged 1600 Beetle that he's upping the CCs to. Actually, I think he's going with like close to an 1800, or he's going to a 2180 or something like that. But that's boosted, and he's probably making, before the motor blew up, he was probably making around 220 horse, and his car weighs 1,500, 1,600 pounds, somewhere around there. So, if I want to keep up with him, I'd want to make about 450 horse out of that Mustang, with turbocharged 6-cylinder, which out of 3.3 liters with a turbo, even on an old reverse flow head, 400 horse would not be that hard to ask at all. I just needed to get, go to a bigger wheel or go to a bigger axle. And then you got to put 5-lug wheels on it all the way around. Steelies, 14 inches, but a little wider all the way around. We'll lower it a bit. Really make it look nice and make it quick. But we'll see. Turbo would be fun. But again, you're only going to have a 3-speed. And my buddy's talking about putting like a 6-speed Porsche transaxle in it, and that would be pretty cool. But I think the main focus is going to be when I get the truck done, when I get the Excursion done, when I get the 5-speed done in the Mercedes 5-speed swap. We're going to pull this I'm going into a shop with a friend of mine. As far as like a business, we're going to go into a shop together. Equipment has been bought, leases have been signed, all that. We'll want to get this over there and the parts car. There's a big pole shed in the back that hopefully I can store 2 cars in, one on a hoist and one below it. So this one has the best frame, so that one would go on the hoist. But then we can get the parts cars in there. I can strip out the parts car. I can then pull this body off. I got a body cart that I can stick this body on. We can throw out the body or sell the body for the 66 or scrap it. I mean, we'll pull everything out of it and then scrap it. Because who's going to want a 4-door shell for a car like that, especially the shape that this one's in? I've been selling parts off of it, and it's just going to get parted out. I paid $800 for it. It's a very good parts car, but it's too far gone to save. I got a transmission for myself. I got a spare engine for myself. I've sold the hoods, deck lids, a couple other parts, a couple trim pieces. So that's going to be a moneymaker car and parts car for myself. But I'm going to get out of here. This video turned out a little longer than I wanted to, but that is the collection in storage shed. There's about, let's see, we have the 62 at the shop. We have the 80 Ford at the shop. We have the Benz. My friend also has an Impala. He has 2 Impalas, a Grand Marquis, a couple Crown Vics, pickup truck. So we've got way too many cars. We've probably got 20 to 25 cars between the two of us. Too many. Because I have 3 Oldsmobiles, 3 Fords, so that's 6, and a Mercedes, that's 7. And he has Oldsmobile that. He had a Dart, but he got rid of that. So he's got an Oldsmobile, Crown Vic, another Crown Vic, I think, Grand Marquis, pickup truck, Impala, Comet. So he's got, also we have just under 20 cars between the two of us. Still too many, but yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here. I got more work to do while the sun is still up. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and talk to you guys later.